There's a hilarious wordplay hidden in John chapter 9. Hi, everyone. This is Wordplay in the Word with R.A. Sweeney, where I like to just share some interesting, silly, playful, nuanced, fascinating sort of things with the Hebrew and Greek of the Bible. Today, as I mentioned, I want to talk about John chapter 9. And there is a scene where there's a man who's born blind. And Jesus heals the man, and he goes to the religious leaders, and they are questioning him about what happened. And he's like, I really can't tell you what happened. Just this guy healed me. They bring in his parents, and they're like, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. And it's used to teach this idea of spiritual blindness in that story. But I feel like it really comes alive when you look at the Greek, and maybe it's just how I translate it. But for me, as I was writing this out when I was translating the chapter, it stood out as hilarious to me. So in Greek, there's a couple different words for knowing things, just like we have in English. I could say that I know something, but I can also say that I see something. Like if you're like explaining something to me, I might say like, oh, I see, meaning I know what you mean now. So seeing is equated with knowing. And that's the case in Greek. It's actually the case in Hebrew as well. But here in John chapter 9, with the story of the blind man, I felt like it was hilarious when you overlay that idea of seeing into the story. I feel like in English, normally we try to translate it in a way that sounds a little bit I don't even know, fancier, I guess. But putting in that idea of truly like the word being used is like, I see something and now I know, rather than just like, I know these things. So I translated every word in there, which it is the word to understand by seeing something. I just translated it as see. And it really makes the story pretty funny. So in the story, you've got Jesus comes up to this man who can't see. And then Jesus talks to him a little bit, and then Jesus makes the man who couldn't see now able to see. And then he goes to the religious leaders, and they do not see how this man who could not see is now able to see. So they ask him, and he says, I didn't see who it was that made me able to see, but I couldn't see, and now I see. And then the parents are brought in, and they're asked, like, hey, was your child born not able to see? And they're like, yeah, he could not see, but clearly we see that now he sees, but we do not see who it was that made him able to see. And then the guy even ends up running into Jesus later, and he's like, I didn't see who it was. I don't see who made me see, as in no, I don't see who made me able to see now. And so just to me, it's like a slapstick comedy bit or something like Three Stooges or Abbott and Costello level humor of just really playing with this idea of see to make the whole thing really comical. But then that's used to drop the hammer hard, I feel like. I remember in school, we were reading, I think it was Hamlet. It was some Shakespeare play where I learned about dramatic irony, where you juxtapose the silly scene with the really heavy scene, and it makes the silliness seem sillier and the heaviness seem heavier. And so after all that silliness of like, I couldn't see and now I see, but I don't see who it was that made me able to see when I wasn't able to see, all that silliness is really meant to bring this levity to the scene. And then it drops the hammer of like this idea of spiritual blindness that this guy couldn't see, and now he's able to see after an encounter with the Messiah. And the religious leaders, like, they can see, but they don't actually see. Like, they're having encounters with the Messiah, and they don't see. And so you've got this really silly sort of back and forth on seeing and not seeing that's meant to really bring the weight of that scene of, like, in the same way that that guy couldn't see, but after an encounter with the Messiah, now he's able to see, but he didn't see who made him see. You are the same thing, religious leaders, and anyone else who fits in the same sort of boat of, yeah, you can see, but you don't see. Your eyes are functioning, but you don't have this perception, this understanding of how all this works and what all this means. Just like the man, his eyes now worked, but he didn't know anymore until he went and ran into Jesus later. The religious leaders are meant to do the same thing. So one, I love all the seeing in that passage. I think it makes a really, really silly and hilarious passage. But two, I feel like that makes a really, really creative way of really driving that point home of, after all the silliness, it's like, yeah, so you're an idiot for not seeing. You need to open your eyes. You're the one who can't see right now. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today for Wordplay in the Word. If there's anything else that you want to explore in Wordplay, let me know. You can, put it in the comments below. You can message me or whatever the case may be. I'd love to hear from you on what you want to explore. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more Wordplay in the Word and other people can help find it. I hope that was a blessing. Thanks, everyone.